Thank you for joining us in Glens Falls, New York, inside Cool Insuring Arena. Once again, the home of the New York State Final Four. It's Haldane out of Section 1 and Canton Central, who got a big win over Chatham to advance back to the New York State Final Four for the third time under eighth-year head coach Troy LaSalle. Haldane knocked off Pearson in a heart-stopper, 57-53, under the guidance of head coach Joe Vergadamo in his 17th season. So we'll step aside for the starting lineups, and when we return, it'll be tip-off here at Glens Falls. Back here at Cool Insuring Arena, I'm Gavin Shaw alongside Matt Lawrence here with you on the NFHS Network. And Matt, why don't you give us the starting lineups?
All right, Gavin, for the Canton Golden Bears at guard, number 3, Ryan Jones. Number 4, Talon Green. At center, Iomi Odeto Yimbo. Say that twice. At guard, number 21, Luke Wentworth. And at forward, number 34, Elias Snyder. For the Blue Devils, at guard, number 3, Benjamin Bozic. Number 5, William Bradley. Number 12, Ryan Enwang. And then at center, number 20, Mateo Cervone. And rounding out the first 5, the forward, number 24, Matt Nachampkin there, coached by Coach Joe Vergadamo. At the Cool Insuring Arena, starting 5s, we're getting ready for tip-off. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the tip-off. And Gavin Shaw calling the game.
Road to Glens Falls.
6 seconds left to go. 4 and 3. It goes up for 3. That's
Where legends are made.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great. Participate.
Thank you for joining us back at Cool Insuring Arena. Gavin Shaw, Matt Lawrence to take you through on the NFHS Network. Section 10's Canton Central Golden Bears. Section 1's Haldane Blue Devils. Matt Lawrence, what do you see as the keys to today's game?
Well, I see both start 3 guards, a center and a forward. They match up. Talking to the coaches, they go quick. There's not a lot of half-court offense to these guys. They're high pressure. They're going to run the whole time. For me right now, going through Section 9 and some of the Section 1 games, it's going to be who gets hot in the second half. First half is a chess match, but second half is going to get hot.
Canton Central wins the tip. They are in the gold and brown, and the Haldane Blue Devils in their whites with the blue numbers and trim. As the pass inside and off the knee of Iomi Oditoyinbo, but recovered by Canton Central. The kick out, Luke Wentworth thinking about it from 3, instead knifing into the lane. Misses the bunny, but Oditoyinbo able to keep it alive. And the rebound recovered along the baseline by Elias Snyder, triple teamed, and finally the ball is poked away, and Haldane comes up with it.
Boy, that was 20 seconds of ugliness. but they're going to start out right away shooting.
Triple on the way and deposited for Ryan Engwong. The senior guard averages just 5 points per game, more than halfway there on the game's first shot. And on this bigger court, Matt, Haldane showing some pressure early.
Well, right now, both teams are going to try and feel each other out. Haven't played each other during the year, trading threes right now, but Engwong's a lot different result.
Ryan Jones off the mark that time?
Yeah, what you're going to see is I think you're going to see both teams almost like a chess match. They're going to feel each other out in the first quarter, and then start their game plan.
And there's an acclimation process to this bigger court. You talk to coaches going through, I know particularly on Long Island, as you start playing on these college courts and the depth perception changes, shooting a little bit of a challenge sometimes early in these games. Is Servone off the mark that time?
Not for Engwong. He started out the game, but the biggest difference in the court, not only that you can see, what a block, but not only can you see through the backboard and there's no end line, but the distance between the top of the key and half court. That's where you have to close that distance down because teams have feel-free lanes to pass it.
Troy LaSalle noting that area between the three-point lines. Who wins that area? One of the keys to the game, as it's a travel that time against Iomi Oditoyimbo, the 6'8" center for Canton Central, who averages 7 blocks per game.
He's the fourth 6'8" player that I have seen in person this year. The league is just getting more and more competitive every year.
Mateo Servone knifing to the rim, but can't finish with the right hand on the left side.
If you're a coach, you want to see him go strong there. Your big man, you don't want... Oh, easy call, but you don't want to see your big man with a finger roll.
Will Bradley taking the charge that time as Elias Snyder picks up his first foul, the 6'3" senior power forward. Also plays offensive line on the football team, so Will Bradley really taking one for his team that time.
Yeah, usually in your C's you don't see real big players, one or two, but both teams have great size.
Combination of Nechampkin and Mateo Servone for Haldane, 6'4" and 6'6" respectively,
nice
as Jones knifes into the paint and finds out about Matt Nechampkin, who got the block, and then a foul on the offensive rebound. Luke Wentworth drawing it. So that foul seemed to have gone against Mateo Servone, the senior forward for Haldane, his first. He's their leading scorer, 21 points per game, as it's Wentworth at the line, the senior guard. Averages 10 points per game. Kind of the motor of this Canton Central team. Plays extremely hard, runs the floor exceptionally well. But can't connect from the free throw line. So it'll be Haldane looking to add to their advantage. Dribble drive for Bradley, swatted away. There you go. Oditoyimbo showing what he can do.
Well, if you're ever looking to make a statement in the first 4 minutes of the game, that's a statement. Both teams with big blocks on the ends. On the other side, for the Haldane Blue Devils was Mateo Servone with a big block about a minute ago.
As a second triple's up and in for Ryan Engwong, who has scored more in 2.5 minutes than he averages per game on the season, up to 6 points.
Well, this is when the unsung heroes, this is when they rise to the top.
As Will Bradley commits the foul, that time on Elias Snyder. To your point, though, Matt, Ryan Engwong, a guy with big game experience and big game production, just in a different sport. He was a member of Haldane's 2022, this year, Class C state championship soccer team, and he scored the only goal in the state championship game.
Did it.
So you know better than I do.
Yeah,
he has a propensity for the big play.
You know, going through all the names of the 10 teams, or the 20 teams, that made it here, and, we're looking at so familiar, some of the names from the football teams and from the soccer. So they're athletes. They've been on the big stage. Although it's an indoor arena, same level. So these guys are, obviously, they're great athletes for their school, and they rise.
Championship DNA, it's a real thing. Bozic to Bradley. That's an NBA three. He airmailed it. Bounded by Servone. Triple teamed. Lost the basketball. Fights to win it back.
No reset on the shot.
Servone,
nice
quick spin, but able to alter it was Oditoyimbo. And then Servone, that would be his second foul unless he just...
No, he stepped out of bounds.
He just stepped out of bounds.
He was on the baseline, and then as the ball got free, he stepped in and grabbed the ball before he established both feet.
So it's Canton Central breaking the other way. Ethan Francie off the mark on the pass, intercepted by Nishampkin.
He should have taken that jumper. He was about 10 feet away from the basket, wide open.
Bradley, after airballing last time, thought twice about shooting there. Servone trying to get going this time. Gets the layup to go. We got to see Mateo Servone in that regional championship win over Pearson as this flush on the other end for Odi Toyinbo, getting up on both sides as Canton Central has their first field goal nearly halfway through this first quarter. Another look.
I'll tell you what, again, statement after statement. So you'll watch now. They're going to find Enwang. Canton at the beginning of the game was back in zone, and Enwang just tearing him up from the three. Now they're out on him. They know he can shoot. It may open it up a little bit more for the inside.
Servone not hesitant. In and out. He's a 30% shooter from distance. This Canton Central team, very balanced. Emphasis on ball movement in their offense have been a little out of sync so far, Matt, but maybe now starting to find that rhythm is Jones short on the three.
Yeah, you got to get your legs about you. You know, you're in a big stage. You've traveled. You're in this huge arena. You know, and the arena never gets filled up for these basketball games, even with the biggest of, because how many do you travel with? Even if there's a couple thousand, it still looks half empty. So you got to get your legs about you running this floor. And, again, it's a big floor.
And, Matt, you've done enough of these games over the years to know it's usually about which team acclimates to this new environment first. That typically ends up winning the game.
And this is no surprise to anyone. One team usually starts out really hot. Unfortunately, they're usually the team that doesn't win. We saw it last year. The teams that started out with big leads just started to take it in, and the other team found its feet and got hot when you need it. Nice pass.
What a dime from Ryan Jones, but Wentworth unable to pay it off. Servone the other way. Double pump. Odi Toyinbo picks up the foul along with the block.
I tell you this, though. Going in, if you watch that, Servone, he's a big guy. He probably doesn't hesitate on many. And you see him, he took a hesitation because you got a 6'8" guy who just blocked the ball in the first row. He just blocked it out of bounds, but a nice job grabbing the foul and possibly a little bit more on the lead.
On replay, it looked pretty clean up top, maybe on the body. Servone coming off a monster game, 26 points and 12 rebounds against Pearson. And Matt, what stood out to me, he's just such an intuitive player, has a great understanding of leverage, almost like a wrestler, and just kind of an old-school post game for Mateo Servone.
The biggest thing I can see about him and most post players, his first step, he's setting you up for the next one. You've seen a few times now where he's been on that post, and he's setting you up for that spin or that move. He's got a great second step quickness to him.
Has 3 points in the early going. Francie walked with it. Harassing defense that time from Evan Jacinta in off the bench.
And that's the third turnover for Canton. They're going to have to limit that right now because they have as many points as they do turnovers.
What do you think the main issue in the early going is for the Golden Bears offensively?
I'm looking at them, and it's just what it was. It's just about that last 10%. They're doing the 90% to get themselves to the basket. A few good passes, great layups that they had, but they just didn't convert.
Oh, another nifty finish inside for Servone. Just always seems to understand exactly where he is on the court.
He's got 5 already. Scoring for Haldane is by 2 people. Servone with 5 and Enwang with 2 threes.
Jones double teamed, gets it out. Wentworth thought better about firing from distance. Not hesitating is Vincent Nelson Foos, who rattles in the 3 ball.
There you go. That right there was set up by the drive, the pull of the defense, and the kick out. Nice job.
So maybe Canton starting to find their footing.
Watch for 12. Make sure he's not open again. They're going to jump to him if he gets the ball. No, oh, there's a big block.
Servone, that doubled as a pass on the block, but this time Enwang left it short. Much to the delight of the Canton Central crowd. Great turnout for Canton Central.
Yeah, they traveled well, really well. A lot of times in places like this, you'll see buses out front.
Wentworth, that was saved beautifully by Francie, but Nelson Foos, after the 3-ball, couldn't hold on that time.
Just off his foot, couldn't get the ball. I think as he was catching the ball, his eyes are up at the basket. He's so wide open. You'll hear coaches a lot of times say, catch it with your eyes. Not literally, but you got to make sure it's in your hands before you take off. Look at that pass. And again, you're not afraid because of the 6'8" wingspan.
Nate Stickle burrowed his way inside, and we'll get some free throws as the foul that time goes against Ryan Jones, the junior point guard's first foul.
I'm sure Jones doesn't mind picking that up. He doesn't mind picking that up at all.
As we want to remind you, you're watching live coverage of the New York State Final Four on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of high school sports. From live games to full game replays to highlights, it's all there at NFHSnetwork.com. Nate Stickle at the line, averages just 1 point per game, but he's excellent at the foul line, 77% on the year as he rattles home the second.
So he just doubled his average of points. And Guang as well. You have two players who aren't used to scoring. They come out and shoot 2 threes and 2 foul shots, and now they're over their average in the game.
And sometimes it does come down to role players in these games. You expect the stars to show up. What secondary guys are going to find their stride on this big court?
And that's it, because you can't always realize, starter doesn't always have a great game. Sometimes in these semifinal games, it's just not there. So you need somebody to rise up with you.
Well defended that time by Zadok Roiger into the game off the bench.
So no shot clock, 20 seconds left.
Ryan Jones dribbling it down. Jones hit a 70-footer at the buzzer to end the first quarter of the regional final against Chatham.
I never agreed with this, because if you're the losing team...
As Jones can't hit that time, but the ball, that's an interesting call. I thought
hit the
it
line.
Bounced off the champion, but you got it, Matt.
It hit the line on the way out and then hitting the champion.
So a couple of shooters come in for Haldane, Will Bradley, Ryan Engwang.
And for me, personally, like I was saying, if I'm the losing team and I'm losing by 2, that's fine. But if I'm losing by 5, I don't like taking the last shot or coming down to the last shot.
Thrown into Servone. Servone double-teamed right around half court. Will get up to the three-point line. Will fire just before the horn, in and out at the buzzer. As it stands, Haldane a 13-6 lead over Canton Central in the opening quarter of this Class C State Final Four game as we step aside on the NFHS Network.
Price Chopper and Market 32, we want to help you shop smart to get the best quality and value for you and your family. That's why we created More Ways to Save. Just use your Advantage card to save your way with weekly specials, price chops, lowdowns, stock-up savings, fair to compare, and Advantage rewards. Now that's smart shopping. More ways to save at Price Chopper and Market 32.
Thanks for joining us back at Coolin Shoring Arena. The tournament is presented by the American Dairy Association Northeast. The NYSPHSAA Boys Basketball State Championships presented by the American Dairy Association Northeast. Gavin Shaw alongside Matt Lawrence. Canton Central getting off to a little bit of a slow start, Matt, as we open the second quarter.
You know what? If you're the coach, though, if you're Coach Troy LaSalle, Canton, you can't be mad at the first half. You had 3 good opportunities at the basket, and this game should be 13-12. You short-armed the ball, one went off a foot, and then a great pass, but you didn't convert. So you had the same amount of opportunities, you're hoping you convert more in the second, third, and fourth quarter. The good news is you don't win in the first quarter.
And you're hoping Odi Toyembo can alter some that going in that first quarter for Haldane. He had a couple blocks in the first as that ball skims right out of the hands of Will Bradley, and Canton Central will have an opportunity.
So here you go again. It's all about turnovers. Each team having 3 turnovers right now. Unforced turnovers, too.
Nelson Foos will try his second 3. Skying for the rebound is Bozic, excuse me.
Both 12s seem to be the 3-point shooters here, Ang Wang and Nelson Foos. There's that spin move.
Servone driving to pass. Bradley gets the triple to go down.
What a nice shot.
And that's a game-high 10-point advantage for Haldane. First double-digit lead for either team of this ball game.
And you don't panic right now if you're Canton. You at least want to get a bucket. 2 points is fine. But you're not, being that small, you can't go in like that.
Streaking ahead is Ang Wang. Gets it back to Servone. Servone on the little spin and hook.
He's going to be a problem. Servone is going to be a problem.
Shoots 56% from 2-point range. A 12-point lead for Haldane as we'll step aside on the NFHS network.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Be great.
A look at the Haldane faithful as the Blue Devils have a 12-point advantage. Pretty cool, Matt. The coaches on both sides actually played in New York State Final Fours as students. Joe Vergadamo was at Haldane, where they made the Final Four as a Class D school in 2001, lost in the semifinals. And Troy LaSalle, just a couple years later, at Ogdensburg Free Academy, a Class B school at that point, made the state semis. It was at Glens Falls back in the day. This is his first time back at a New York State Final Four at Glens Falls, so he's made it twice as a coach.
And it's pretty cool to have that drive, not only to come back to play as a player, but to have that drive. You know, that's usually what sets you apart. You can do it as a player, but can you inspire your guys to do it as a team? Kind of an odd setup right now, both 6'8" and 6'6" out on the perimeter.
As Nelson Foos hits his second money ball of the game, a game high, or team high, I should say, 6 points for Canton Central.
So we were watching for Canton. We're watching little guys go in the middle, guards cutting the middle and getting surrounded by the big men. So on that possession, their big men were out at the 3-corner, pulling the 6'8"er out on the perimeter, and another unforced turnover.
As Nelson Foos stepped on the baseline after corralling the rebound. Canton has the lead back down to 9 as Elias Snyder, 6'3" power forward, comes back on for the Golden Bears.
When you pull Odetta Oyimbo out on the 3, that's a huge loss in the middle, and he has to guard Servone because Servone can shoot from out there.
Just missed a buzzer beater to end the first quarter. No look inside for Jones. Snyder rushed the shot, and Bradley has the rebound.
Those are the shots that they're missing. That's the difference in the game right now. It's a 9-point lead, but those 2-pointers down low, they're not focusing in that last 10%. They're doing everything they can. Reward yourself. Put that ball in the basket.
Feels like they're rushing and feeling a pressure that if Haldane's feeling it, they're not showing it around the rim. Servone, hop, skip, and a jump, and Odi Toyembo sends that one right back to Haldane High School.
Well, Odi Toyembo, here's the biggest thing with him. You're not going to finger roll a soft ball. You're not going to put one up because he's not only tall, he's long. The arms are really long. He's a problem.
Lob to Champion, blocked away by Snyder. Getting it back inside, going up is Bozic. Rebound tapped around to Nelson Foos.
A nice job by Bozic. He knew he wasn't going to score, but he's trying to draw that foul, and that would have been his second. What a great move.
Drive plus the foul for Ryan Jones, who is belatedly on the board, the leading scorer for Canton Central.
For Haldane, it looked like it was against Michael Murray. believe I'm seeing a 4, but I don't see a 4 on the floor, so maybe it was against number 5.
Seems like it was on Will Bradley.
Yeah, it was either 5 or 3. He's using one hand, but we couldn't see the numbers from here. So Bradley picks up his second, and that's why he's out. Third team foul.
Triple drive for Engwang, trying to find Jacinta out of bounds, and Canton Central, down just 7, will have the basketball back.
Well, here you go. Engwang, who's the outside shooter, trying to drive, doing what he wasn't normally doing at the beginning of the game.
Quick hands that time from Bozic.
Turnovers both ways.
Canton Central feels like they're doing a better job breaking the press, but to your point, Matt, just can't complete that last pass or that final shot.
Correct, and they're turning the ball over. 5 turnovers in the game, and even if it results to 2 or 4 points, there's your difference.
2-man game between Nechampkin and Servone, trying to get that switch, but Odi Toyimbo does a good job sticking with it as Engwang couldn't hit his third 3. Nechampkin has the board, goes up fast, well-defended, good verticality from Elias Snyder. Jones leading the break the other way, 3-on-2, drops it off. Wentworth fumbled the basketball, was stripped and saved. Right back to Wentworth, who will shoot 2. It was a great defensive play from Engwang, just didn't pass the basketball to the right player.
And Nechampkin, more importantly, Nechampkin's going to pick up his second foul. So Nechampkin, a body down low for Haldane. He's going to pick up his second personal, and that's the team's 4th foul.
So 2 of the 3 leading scorers for Haldane in Nechampkin and Will Bradley both have 2 fouls. Mateo Servone has 1. Could be a factor come the second half, or maybe late in this first half. Depends what Joe Vergadamo wants to do, and for now, he'll keep Nechampkin in the game.
Nice job by Haldane, being patient, controlling the ball, but the last few possessions has not gone well for them. They've either been forced to take it from the outside or taken shots against the 6'8"er. And let's see who that's on. This is interesting.
It'll be Ben Bozic going to the line, and it looks like the foul's against Ethan Francie. As you see the athleticism, the hang time for Bozic, and it must have been on Nelson Foos because Francie's not in the game.
It is. It's on Vincent Nelson Fuse. It's on number 12. That's his first.
Ben Bozic, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists per game. On the season, a 72% foul shooter, but 0 for 2 that time.
As we talked about, clear backboards with no walls behind. It's a little bit of a transition, and here at the New York State Championships, you only get 15 minutes to warm up on this floor.
As Snyder missed the bunny, that should have gone down, stripped away on the rebound by Engwang, as Nechampkin will slow things down.
So if you watch Snyder, anytime he's been getting the ball in the first half, Snyder is looking behind him as he's shooting the ball. He's expecting the defense, and he's not focusing. And that's the difference right now. He's had 2 or 3 that he can't convert on. And another job by Jones. What a great job.
Doing fantastic work navigating traffic. Went through about 4 defenders that time before taking the contact from Ben Bozic and finishing through it. Bozic's first foul.
I'm impressed with Canton's drives to the basket. The biggest difference right now, Canton, Elias Snyder has to start focusing on that basket, and he completes the 3-point play. Nice job.
So Jones up to 5 points, the lead down to 3 for the first time since the opening minutes of the first quarter. As Haldane has had a long stretch, right around 2.5 minutes without scoring the basketball.
So if you're at the 3-minute mark in the first half, you can wipe away that first quarter. You're at your 3-point game here. It's basically a 3-0 game at 18-15.
Servone stripped away by Jones.
Here come the big man running the floor.
It's Francie ahead of the pack, leaves it off, but getting back defensively was Stickle.
And all they did was trade turnovers.
Servone to Bozic as he's unfooted that time by Francie. Francie has great speed, but just a little bit out of control, trying to poke that ball away. Or maybe that was his intention, to deny what would have been an open layup for Bozic.
I'm thinking they're going to give that. You think they gave that to Francie or Jones? Hard to see the figures up here. We'll confirm the foul, but it might be Ryan Jones' second foul.
So Heng Wong short on the shot. Stickle fighting to keep it alive. It'll be Jones breaking away behind the back. A magic trick, but too fancy as Heng Wong has the steal. Up ahead to Bozic. Chasing him is Jones. And it looked like a foul on the other end of it. Will give Canton Central the basketball.
It's a Haldane. It's an illegal screen on Haldane's number 23, Nathaniel Stickle. When the ball got free, Stickle, boxing a man out on a free ball, steps right in front of him. A nice job by the officials seeing that's putting Haldane at a huge advantage on a fast break.
Stickle, a football and basketball player, as Aidi Toembo gets up again. A big-time flush. Canton is within one, as it looks like the Golden Bears have called for time with 2:20 to go in the second quarter. We'll step aside as well on the NFHS Network. Thank you for joining us back on the NFHS Network. A reminder, you can relive all the incredible moments from today's matchup on demand at NFHSnetwork.com. A digital copy is also available for purchase. All you have to do is click the digital copy button under the event video player to download today's broadcast directly to your device. So for Canton, they were down 18-6, an 11-0 run for the Golden Bears.
The big man's getting involved. They're running the floor. More importantly, they're taking better care of the basketball. So Haldane's showing the patience with about 2 minutes left to go, Gavin, but Haldane is going to have to start getting what they did in the first quarter. They're going to have to start getting the ball down low to Servone and then getting the ball back to the perimeter for shots.
He has an opportunity right here, but he's stripped, and it's recovered by Odi Toyinbo. Jones leading the break, injecting some pace. Nelson Foos can't retake the lead, but skying to the rim is Odi Toyinbo. Odi Toyinbo, the high jump champion of Section 10. You saw it right there, Matt Lawrence.
Well, he is making
pass
his
inside, and Bozic misses the bunny.
Odi Toyinbo making his presence known. He's here again. If it's me, I'm throwing the ball up at the basket at that point in time. But a nice job.
Wentworth goes hard to the rim.
And the foul's going to be on Haldane's number 12, Ryan Enwong. I believe it's only his first. The problem is it's Haldane's seventh, and they are over the limit.
So it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Nelson Foos. Or excuse me, it is Luke Wentworth on the line.
Number 21 on the line. He's 0 for 2. Make it 3. And that's a foul. They missed it.
Got away with it.
Missed it.
And Canton Central will have the basketball. The Golden Bears started off the season just 1-5. Since then, 16-1. Only had one starter back. But once they found their rhythm, they haven't stopped thriving as Jones misses the lay.
So Haldane again, they're doing a good job of bulk, but not the last couple times because Servone's trying to do it all. Nice move.
That was a tricky move, but Odi Toyinbo got back in time to maybe just get the slightest piece of that shot. Would go down the lightest block, but his fourth of the ball game.
The problem is you had Enwong start out with 2 threes, opened it up. Then they got the ball to the perimeter, jumping to Enwong. He was able to feed it into Servone. Now Servone's dribbling in from the perimeter. Everyone's collapsing on him.
Haldane hasn't scored in about 5 minutes. That'll be a foul offensively against Nelson Foos. Well defended that time by Servone. A risky move for Servone.
It's going to be his second. Team foul number 6. But I'll tell you what's really starting to mount up. Okay, Canton had a bunch of turnovers in the first quarter. Haldane had limited to 2 or 3. Haldane's up now to 6 turnovers, and Canton at 7. It's the converting points over those turnovers is why Canton has that lead.
And this is interesting to avoid the pressure. They have Servone bring the ball up as it's Bozic cutting to the basket. And stripped that time is Odi Toyimbo. Pass inside. Bozic had it knocked away by Jones, and it will stick with the Blue Devils with 40 seconds to go in the first half.
You got two big boys hitting each other underneath, which is great. They're not really calling any of the contact because it's mutual.
Triple left short that time by Servone. Stickle just able to recover the ball. Just a 1 second difference between shot clock and game clock.
See, when Nwang was hot in the first quarter, he would have thrown that up. That time he chose to pass it back out, so the confidence is down a little bit in Nwang. They need to start shooting from the outside to get See, this is where you want Servone if you're Canton. You want Servone out on the perimeter because he's going to dribble it in and everybody's going to collapse around him.
Odi Toyimbo tracking him. Goes against the triple team. Tried to force it up anyways. Odi Toyimbo recovered the rebound. Ball knocked away by Nwang out of bounds, and that'll do it for the first half. Canton ends the second quarter rather, on a 13-0 run to take a 1-point lead into the break against Haldane. Winner moves on to the New York State Class C championship game against the winner of our next game, Moravia and Randolph. We'll have that for you on the NFHS network as well at 11:15. We'll step aside for a half. When we return, Canton trying to close out and continue their momentum and move on to a New York State basketball championship game.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today.
Chopper and Market 32, we want to help you shop smart to get the best quality and value for you and your family. That's why we created
More ways to save.
Just use your Advantage card to save your way with weekly specials, price chops, lowdowns, stock-up savings, fair to compare, and Advantage rewards. Now that's smart shopping. More ways to save at Price Chopper and Market 32.
Roads at Glens Falls.
6 seconds left to go. 4 and 3. It goes up for 3. That's
Where legends are made.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Be great.
Participate.
The innocence of youth, Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 12 million participants in America who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
We're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
Woo! My kid heard that solo!
You see my kid?
Yeah!
Come on!
Going to college for esports feels amazing. Growing up, it's something I never thought would happen. My family never thought it would happen. And then within 2.5 years, here I am.
He's actually a madman whenever it comes to playing on the sticks.
You know, he's going to be the first one that pursues this into an academic career.
Me getting an esports scholarship could show other students that it's possible for them too, as long as they put their mind to it and put some effort into it.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today.
And Market 32, we want to help you shop smart to get the best quality and value for you and your family. That's why we created more ways to save. Just use your Advantage card to save your way with weekly specials, price chops, lowdowns, stock-up savings, fair to compare, and Advantage rewards. Now that's smart shopping. More ways to save at Price Chopper and Market 32.
road to Glens Falls.
6 seconds left to go. 4 and 3. It goes up for 3.
Where legends are made.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Be great.
Participate.
The American Dairy Association Northeast has teamed up with the Athletic Association to promote chocolate milk as the ultimate refueling beverage. Chocolate milk is the official beverage of the New York State Basketball Championship. Gavin Shaw back with Matt Lawrence. A 13-0 run for the Canton Golden Bears to end that first half. Matt, what are you looking for from Haldane to answer coming into this third quarter?
Well, I think you had a team that got really hot really quick, right? And then they cooled off a little bit because now they didn't know how to counter Canton. They didn't have to play much defense. Canton was turning the ball over, not making their outside shots. You had a team in Canton that started out really slow, and now they got hot. For me, whoever does that in this second half, because it's a 1-0 game right now, that's your winner. Who can find that perimeter shooting and that inside balance in the second half.
Missing on the pass that time was Elias Snyder. A key turn in the second quarter for Canton Central. Their leading scorer, Ryan Jones, held scoreless in the first. He had 5 points in the second. And, of course, Iomi Oditoyimbo, 2 big-time dunks in that second quarter, part of a 6-point quarter for him.
So, pseudo-pressure. Canton just stepping up to just over half court, not letting him dribble the ball up free, but not really any pressure itself. Keep an eye on Servone. Servone has been outside on the perimeter. He was so much more effective when he was posting up.
The Shampkin, second leading scorer for the Blue Devils, still scoreless. Double pump somehow put in by Mateo Servone as he's up to 9 points. And Haldane retakes the lead. Zone for the Blue Devils. Stickle resets to Jones, who will drive on the Champkin. It's Wentworth who nearly got the shot to go as he was falling.
A nice shot from where he was. That was a really nice shot. Great balance scoring.
And never stopped is Bozic, so he'll just draw the foul. No one picked him up.
Again, no pseudo pressure. So Snyder with the foul. And you went down and we had some corrections on some fouls.
Yes, a second foul picked up by Elias Snyder. Struggled a bit offensively in the first half. Had some good moments as a rebounder. Bozic, his first point of the game. 72% free throw shooter. Missed his only 2 attempts in the first half from the line. While Nishampkin and Servone are the stars, Bozic, to some extent, the heart and soul of this Haldane team, almost never comes off the court, plays 30 minutes a game. As he'll pressure Ryan Jones.
30 minutes doesn't sound like a lot if you're not a basketball fan and you're watching this. They're 8-minute quarters. There's only 32 minutes in a game. And a big three-pointer.
Francie tickles the twine. He's up. Oh, excuse me. That was his first points of the game for Ethan Francie.
A great time for it, too. This is where you want to, if you're Canton, this is where you want to keep Servone. Not there, though.
Servone, as that one's eaten up by Oditoyimbo. He had some help. Jones, a 3-on-2, slips a pass inside, and Nelson Foos puts in the lefty lay. Bozic dealing with the pressure well. Oditoyimbo up to 5 blocks. Servone, Nishampkin, they have great chemistry, but recovering in time was Oditoyimbo. Changing the game on both ends of the floor. Francie, dribble drive, got the foul on Servone.
Yeah, more importantly, you weren't really worried about the basket there. He's drawing the foul on Servone because Servone is the go-to guy for Haldane.
Second foul against Mateo Servone. So a nice start to the second half for Ethan Francie. Again, he typically comes off the bench, but starting this third quarter in place of Talon Green.
And you think Coach knew something? He comes out, hits a 3. And then now, he's on the foul line, makes his first.
matching his season average of 4 points per game, and now surpassing it. He is 5, and it's once again a 4-point lead. Or I shouldn't say once again, it's the largest lead of the game for Canton Central at 4 points.
So Green had no points. Francie comes out. You know, sometimes you got to go with your gut as a coach. Green's still your guy, but Francie might come out and just give you a little bit of a spark. That's what you're looking for if you're a coach.
Troy LaSalle says Ethan Francie runs the floor with a consistency he has never seen in a player. Does not stop sprinting from the opening tip and nearly makes a great defensive play here, but likely will be called for the foul. Battling for that basketball.
Both referees are going to talk it over.
So you get another look at it, and I think it was that Francie might have led with the knee as he was going for that basketball.
There were multiple calls you could have called on that. You could have called a travel for the player turning over. You could have called a jump ball and could have called a foul. So all three of those came into play. Officials chose to call a foul on Francie. That's the second of the half for the team. Nice move by Cervone.
Cervone pirouetting one way, then the other, and now a timeout taken by Haldane. They're back within 2. As we'll keep it right here on the NFHS network.
So Cervone with a great move. Again, if you're watching Cervone, Gavin, in the first half, in the first quarter, they give the ball to Cervone. He does all his work in the paint. He's got real good footwork for a big man. However, when he takes the ball from the outside and takes it to the basket, he's got the habit of trying to lay it up, and that's when they're getting blocked out of bounds by the big man. I'm going to call him Iomi, because it's a super easy thing to do. But Iomi, I'll tell you what, he's got the wingspan, probably 7 foot, 7'2". He's 6'8". And the big thing about him that's different from most big men that we see, he can run the floor. He's fast.
Again, a track star as well as a basketball one, coming off a 19.6 block game in the regional final against Chatham. But to your point, it's Cervone, the footwork, pirouetted one way, pirouetted back, and then just ridiculous touch on those jump hooks.
And that's the nice thing about it. You know, it's almost not fair. Canton has a 6'8" high jumper. You're already 6'8".
You don't need
now you're a high jumper. It's almost not fair.
Odie Toyimbo has aspirations of playing Division I. Just a junior. Troy LaSalle noting he still has to make a lot of jumps in terms of his basketball skill set to get there, but certainly from a physical perspective and a timing perspective defensively has a chance at pulling it off.
Well, here's the big thing.
And there's a big-time jam!
Speaking of the jump.
Odie Toyimbo posterizing Mateo Cervone. How's that for an answer?
Well, if you're the high jump champion, I'll tell you what, as a junior, you just made the biggest statement on the biggest stage. Wow, nobody expected that in the arena.
Has 8 points, all of them on dunks. Cervone Neshampkin stripped on his way up by Jones.
Jones, a nice job. I tell you what, anytime a big man brings that ball down low, you're introducing guards that should not be in the play.
Play set up for Bradley. Gets the 3 to go. Haldane back within 1.
Bradley is lucky he did not get a foul on that play. Bradley trying to run through one of the Golden Bears. The contact was enough to draw a foul, but the pass was not in bounds yet.
Nelson Foos wanted the 3 ball instead. Inside to Odie Toyimbo. Shows off some passing chops.
Yeah.
And it gets Luke Wentworth to the foul line.
And he can pass the ball. So the foul on Haldane's William Bradley.
His 3rd foul of the morning.
That's trouble.
Yeah.
That's trouble. You have 4:27 left to go. 4:27 left to go in the 3rd quarter, and you already have 3 fouls.
And a reminder, today's game is also available for all subscribers with the NFHS Network mobile app for Apple and Android devices. You can download it from the App Store or Google Play Store today to start watching live and on-demand games wherever you are. So nothing out of that trip to the line for Wentworth. Cervone again trying his luck, using his body to create room, but couldn't get the layup to go.
And he did a great job coming back in bounds, but that's the problem right there. You want Cervone outside.
Bozic stripped Wentworth on the run. Wentworth to the rack, missed the layup.
Guess who's there?
Odie Toyimbo Windexes the glass, and he's up to 10 points.
So if you are Canton, you want Cervone outside that 3. That's where you want him.
As he tries his luck again, double team. Jones nearly stripped him, but Cervone is single-minded and draws the foul on Ryan Jones, his second foul.
So Jones getting a little bit aggressive trying to go for that ball when Cervone brings it down. If you watch Cervone puts an arm around the ball like it's a football. He puts an arm around the ball so that way you're not going to get to it. And that time Jones a little bit too aggressive right there.
And you just admire the competitive spirit of Mateo Cervone. Backs down to no one, giving up 4 inches in that matchup with Odi Toyimbo. But, Matt, we see him again and again and again trying his luck. And despite the fact that Cervone has 12 points, Odi Toyimbo has 5 blocks. So you could say it's been pretty even so far.
It has been. And, and if you look for the big basketball fan, they're going to say Iommi he's making the statement because he's dunking the ball. But Cervone is doing everything he can to keep his team in this game.
Nelson Foos just did miss it. And Luke Wentworth, good job battling inside, able to maintain the possession for the Golden Bears.
So halfway done with the quarter, 3:30 left to go, 3:26.
Nelson Foos swishes in his third triple of the morning. He's up to 11 points now off the bench.
And now the other 12 has to get going for Haldane. And Wong, a huge part of this first half. He's been silent since.
And maybe an even more significant factor, their second leading scorer in the season, Matt Nishampkin, hasn't scored yet.
Nothing.
Bozic trying to attack the gap
steal.
instead. Pulled away by Wentworth, who manhandled him. And the ball out of bounds, much to the chagrin of Troy
call.
LaSalle. It'll be Haldane basketball.
Great call. If you're watching, you saw it right away. A great poke away, but it went right off of Canton's foot, back out of bounds. And that's a turnover by the Golden Bears. That is their 10th. Haldane with 9 as well now.
Jones on the theft, using the body to create some room. He's up to 7 points. And a game-high 7-point advantage for Canton. Excuse me. Ball into the corner. Save to Cervone. Cervone running hook. Bozic giving up about a foot. Draws the foul on Odi Toyimbo.
That was it. I tell you what. If you're Odi Toyimbo, all you had to do is sit there because he gets that foul in transition of raising his hands. Either keep your hands down or get them up before, because that right there, his head and shoulders are above. And all he needs to do is stand there. But it's his second personal.
Haldane has had experience going up against big front lines. Pearson had a starting small forward, power forward, center combination of 6'5", 6'6", 6'9". So they've gotten a chance, but they haven't seen anything like Odi Toyimbo.
Yeah, well, Bozic at the line, that was his first miss. He's 3 for 4 at the line, trying to keep him in the game. But again, Haldane, you can see right now, the pendulum has swung since the second quarter, and Haldane really needs to find that spark that can get them going like Ryan Enwong did in the beginning of the game. They haven't found, besides Cervone, he needs a little bit of help. Somebody's got to step up for the Blue Devils.
Shot clock dwindling. Francie attacking the rim. Double pump. He has 7 points in this third quarter alone.
What a great call by Coach. What a great call. Non-starter, starts him in the second half. He comes out with 7.
Stickle stripped.
And another turnover.
Up ahead to Jones. Only the basket in front of him, but he botched the layup. Jones able to recover. Pressure, double teamed, and now the foul is called. As the double came from Stone and Jacinta.
And it's going to be called on number 15, Jacinta. Team foul number 3. So now you're seeing the switch. Just Canton turn the ball over a little unnecessarily in the first quarter. Haldane is falling into that in the third quarter. Now an 8-point lead with 1:34 left to go. Canton has a chance to get it up to double digits.
Bozic out for the game, out of the game for the first time. Francie, good pass out of the double.
Great
Nelson
block.
Foos and Servone closed hard.
Boy, he is all over the floor. There is no doubt the two dominant players, one from each team. They run the floor, they pass, they shoot, they rebound. They're giving everything they can. Servone's leaving it on the floor.
Both schools have made the Final Four twice in the last decade. Canton Central advanced to the championship game once, looking to do so again, and that's some beautiful ball movement paid off by Elias Snyder.
So now those are all the shots Snyder missed in the first half. So you're seeing it. You're seeing it.
Servone picked up a foul on the arm that time.
Ethan Francie with his second personal. You don't want to get him in foul trouble. He takes a seat right now, and Talon Green comes back in, but Francie, huge in this quarter. 7 points.
Green, a talented shooter. Servone, bully ball. Adi Toyinbo got a piece, tapped it around. Jones recovers.
He's just got to stand there.
Jones brings some great pace to the table.
Both big men last to get up the floor. They just looked at each other, almost like, hey, let's just jog up.
Both playing so hard. Nelson Foos. It's been a great game for the Canton Central bench, with Foos and Francie combining for 19 points.
Jones with a little bit of a miss there, and I was surprised that he took that because they've been going to the basket so well. No shot clock left.
So Ryan Engwong, who hit those 2 threes in the first quarter, will take his time.
Canton's on their feet, boy. They want some defense here.
11-point deficit in the second quarter, flipped into a 10-point lead to wrap up the third. Servone trying to cut into it. 2 screens, will pull up from distance, leave it short. Stickle has it. Servone at the horn. Can't hit. So that'll do it for the first 3. A game-high 10-point lead for Canton Central, trying to move on to the state championship game for the first time since 2017 right here on the NFHS Network. What a third quarter for Canton Central. 20 points, and they have a 10-point lead over Haldane.
Well, Gavin, the difference has been the second and third quarter. You're 13-6, you come out up as the Blue Devils lead. But in the second quarter, the Blue Devils score 5. Canton comes out and puts up 13 on the board, and it's a 1-point halftime. Second half, they come out, they outscore Haldane 20-11. And the biggest difference right now has been that spark of Ethan Francie. Francie, not normally getting the start, comes out in the second half, puts 7 up on the board, and then Nelson Fuse getting a 2 and a 3, his third 3 of the game. And if Blue Devils do not find a way to stop their transition deep offense, it's going to be a long fourth quarter.
So that's 18 points off the bench for Canton Central. Haldane has just 2 for the game.
And those are the sparks you're looking for in these big games. Sometimes your starters just don't have it.
Servone, hula hooping, and 1.
The biggest thing, he's just picked up the 3rd foul on Odette Oyimbo. Try to say that again. That's why I call him Iomi.
What a quick move from Servone.
He's got great feet, just great feet.
The 7th 1,000-point scorer in the history of Haldane basketball. Tacks on 1 more. He's up to 14 down the stretch against Pearson in that regional final. It was clear Servone was not going to let them lose as he dominated the fourth quarter, looking to do the same here, and unable to get the ball to Odi Toyembo. That time is Wentworth. Battle around the rim, and Neshampian comes out of the pack.
Take the 2. He tried to dunk it for one-handed standing there. take that 2 points.
Servone, again, starting, stopping, has to pass this basketball. Instead, forces it up. What do I know? He got it to go. 16 for Matteo Servone.
Sometimes will is better than percentages. He had that will. As you just said, he's not going to let him lose.
56% from 2-point range all year. Elite touch, showing it off again.
And the problem is he's left-handed. That's hard to guard because your majority of your entire career is right-handed players.
Nelson Foos draws the hard closeout, attacking the rim, kicks it out. Which way's the foul going? And it'll be an offensive foul against Vincent Nelson Foos as he picks up his third.
So you have you have Odette Oyimbo with his third. You have Nelson Foos with his third. Again, not huge, but if they pick up a fourth, they're going to have to sit for for the next few minutes. Especially the big guy. The big guy's going to have to stand there and just keep his hands up in the air. And if I'm Servone, I'm going at him every time. You get him out of the game, it's a total different Canton team.
Servone trying to do just that. Attacking again. Double team comes. Good block by Wentworth, but Servone is persistent. He'll head to the line, and we'll see who that foul's against.
It's going to be against number 2, Ryan Jones, and he's going to pick up his third. So for Canton, you see the aggressiveness from Haldane because Canton, not many fouls in the first half. That's now their 8th team foul.
Servone leaves it short as Haldane brings on Will Bradley and Ryan Engwong. And Ethan Francie exiting the game for Canton Central. Elias Snyder will come back on. I think that foul might have been against Francie, and that might be why you see him out.
Oh, you are correct. You are correct.
Servone, though, 0 for 2. Big-time rebound for Stickle. Double-teamed, able to maintain possession for Haldane. Neshampkin looking for his first points, in and out on the tray ball.
So what I don't understand there, and as he picks up the foul, that'll be Servone. He's going to pick up his third. But what I don't understand there, Neshampkin was standing in the corner for 4 seconds, nobody guarding him. He's looking to pass the ball. He gets it passed. They pass it back to him, and he shoots with defense near him. He didn't take that opportunity, and I think that's the big difference why Neshampkin hasn't scored.
Nice steal and a lay. Oh, off the mark for Bozic, point-blank range. And you see Neshampkin immediately coming over to provide his point guard some comfort.
That's why, as a coach, I hate that finger roll. Coach for years, I hate that finger roll because when it goes off your hand, it just creates that awful spin.
We've seen a couple of underhanded layups that were open. Ryan Jones had one on the other end in the third quarter, missed. Lob play to Neshampkin, a lot of size inside. Neshampkin threw some contact in and out. Bozic can't clean it up. Another rebound, and now reset to Engwong, who will slip it to Neshampkin. Neshampkin up again, missed his third shot in a row. Servone, bully ball, denied by Odi Toyimbo.
So Odi Toyimbo doing a great job. He almost jumped backwards and laid his hand up on the ball, showing that he has no body work.
Canton Central will call for time. A 5-point lead for the Golden Bears, 6:07 to go. Neither school has ever won a state championship. We'll have an opportunity to do so with a win right here on the NFHS Network.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
We're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
Woo! I get her! No,
You see what I did?
Yeah!
The Haldane fans feeling a little bit buoyed. Canton Central still feeling good, up by 5. 6:07 to go. We mentioned it coming to the break. Neither school ever winning a state title. Canton Central got to the championship game in 2017, lost to West Hill. The Golden Bears also made the Final Four a couple years earlier, as Haldane made 2 in 2015 and 2016, and also made it when Joe Vertigamo was a player back in 2001.
I tell you what, Gavin, if I am Coach LaSalle, I'm nervous because we just woke up Servone. Mateo Cervone, he wasn't sleeping, but boy, has he woken up big time in the fourth quarter.
Up to 18 points. That was his fourth field goal in just 2 minutes of this fourth quarter.
You have to, when you watch him play his last game and put the team on his back, and then you see what he's doing in this fourth quarter, incredible. Incredible.
Wentworth inside. Snyder plus the harm.
Snyder doing what he didn't do in the first half and redeeming himself.
Described by head coach Troy LaSalle as the muscle of the starting group. You saw the raw strength that time for Elias Snyder.
I believe that foul may have been called on Mateo Cervone. And if that is, that's his fourth.
Rebound won initially by Wentworth. A tie-up. It is a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Canton.
This is where you will get the best of the best. If you watch, both of those officials came in. Both officials blew their whistle. Neither one gave a signal. They came in to talk to each other to make sure nobody gave a foul call or a travel call. This is a great job by the officials awarding the ball.
Wentworth had Stickle open for a moment. Nelson Foos thinking about the three. They had Odi Toyimbo for the lob. Now we'll reset. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Wentworth using the Odi Toyimbo screen. Cervone recovered well.
If you're Canton, you have to be feeding that ball in. Because that was almost his fifth foul.
Cervone eats up the shot. But to your point, your heart drops for the Haldane fans every time Cervone is involved with the play.
I cannot believe he just swung like that, and I think coach is getting him out of the game.
He doesn't want to, but he will take a seat. You see Mateo Cervone really frustrated with Joe Vergadamo. I assume he'll come back in at the next dead ball, particularly if they're on offense.
He was telling him that's all right, but as a coach, and this is going to be an illegal screen on Canton.
So the foul goes against Elias Snyder, his third.
I will tell you this, though, as a coach, you know he's got 4 fouls, so you got to bring him out. Assistant coach grabbed him right on the bench and said, hey, you can't swing at a ball. You can't do it. 9 times out of 10, if it looks bad, it's going to be bad. You cannot swing. You have to play straight up defense here.
And they immediately bring Cervone back in for offense.
You have to at this point. You have to ride Cervone for everything he's going to give you.
5-point game with 5 minutes to go. Cervone tracked by Odi Toyimbo. Good look inside. Stickle covered by Snyder.
It's been 12 for Cervone in the second half and 6 for everybody else.
Bozic to the rim. Had it blocked away, but if that's on Odi Toyimbo, that's his 4th foul. I don't know about that call, but it is against Odi Toyimbo, so that's his 4th foul.
Well, we're 80 feet away.
That's fair.
You know, we're 80 feet away.
That is a great point, Matt.
They saw something that we didn't, so I've learned not to question. We just go with it. That's the part of getting older.
Bozic, typically automatic at the line, but we mentioned the clear backboard, the depth perception, nothing behind the stanchion. Makes it a little bit trickier to shoot free throws here at Coolin Shoring Arena.
He's pretty good from the line, though. He is 4 for 6. Pretty good from the line. I mean, that's a 66% foul shooting. You want a little bit more than that, but under these conditions and at this place, you'll take it. You'll take 1 of 2, especially at this point in time in the game.
Jones to bring it up. Just under 4.5 minutes to go in this Class C New York State semifinal. Rapid fire ball movement. Forcing up the shot is Nelson Foos. And that foul likely against Will Bradley would be his 4th.
I believe it's going to be against, let's see. I think it's going to be against Jaginta.
Good call on the body.
Yep.
So Wentworth gets back to the line. He's been here a couple of times. Hasn't had a whole lot of success. Just 1 point so far in the game. But this time, the shooter's touch.
Don't they have a way of just making you put your foot in your mouth all the time? I bring something up, hasn't scored in 2 games from 3, and bang, hits a 3-pointer.
It's the beauty of broadcasting.
Correct.
2 for 2, right on cue for Luke Wentworth.
He heard you talking about him. The Wentworth family, if they're not here and they're watching, they're going to send you. Yeah, they're going to send you some fan mail.
You know what? I'll take full credit. He made both.
So here we go. It's a 6-point game, 43-37, halfway done in the fourth quarter. Let's see who's going to do it.
Bozic attacking the gap, stripped to the basketball. Nishampkin recovered and fouled by Ryan Jones on the recovery. And it looks like a timeout taken by Haldane. A full, so we'll step aside as well. A 6-point lead for Canton over Haldane with just under 4 minutes to go.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 12 million participants in America who take part in high school sports or activities.
A look inside Joe Vergadamo's huddle in his 17th season leading Haldane. Got his 200th career win this year in the sectional semifinal over Alexander Hamilton. A reminder, as a player, he was in this game in 2001, lost in the Class D state semis, and has been eager to get back ever since. And remember, high school sports fans, never miss another game. Subscribe to the NFHS Network to watch live and on-demand event coverage, game replays, and highlights from high school sports nationwide. Millions of athletes, thousands of games, one destination, NFHSnetwork.com, your home for high school sports. And Matt Lawrence, we mentioned Canton Central had just one starter back from a year ago. Haldane only had one full-time starter back from a year ago. It was Mateo Cervone. Like Canton Central, they got off to a slow start this year. We're just 2-3, but both these teams obviously found a whole lot of rhythm late, as Haldane has won 15 games in a row. Going to have to fight hard to win 16, and right on cue, Matt Nishampkin, his first points of the game, come on a 3-ball.
And a steal.
For Bozic.
Bozic with the steal. So now you were just at 6 points. You can get this down to 1, possibly tie the game.
Zipped inside. Chiquinta back out. Nishampkin feeling himself a little bit. Gets to the middle of the paint. Double pump. 5 quick points for Matt Nishampkin. Scoreless for 29 minutes.
Well, Cervone is very limited right now because he does have the 4 fouls. Iomi also has the 4 fouls for Canton. So both players toning it down a little bit. Now's the time for someone else to step up.
Francie attacking the rim, passes it late, and Odi Toyembo puts in the bunny.
He learned. Last time he tried to dunk that, and it came off the back of the rim.
His first layup of the game previously had 5 dunks. Lead back up to 3. Bozic to the rack, double pump, acrobatic from Ben Bozic.
You see what having those 4 fouls, it handcuffs Iomi.
Triple drive, kick out, triple, in and out that time for Francie. Spot in the Class C state championship game on the line as Engwong nearly throws it away. Stickle had it for a moment, but now Wentworth comes up with the loose ball. He's pushed down. If that's against Cervone, he is out of this ball game.
I believe it's going to be against Chiquinta again. Chiquinta fell and knocked over one of the Canton players.
It is against Evan Chiquinta, just his 3rd foul. So a sigh of relief despite the errant play and the sloppiness of the ball for Haldane. Had a chance to retake the lead for the first time in the second half.
Yeah, every foul does not have to be on purpose. If you commit the foul and you cause a disadvantage to another player or put yourself in an advantage, that's when most referees are going to call that.
Luke Wentworth on the 1-and-1.
Oh.
Can't earn the second free throw.
Just off the front of that rim, no bounce back to him, and here he is. He's handcuffed
same
again.
Move, but the length of Odi Toyembo forced it off the bottom of the backboard. Unfortunately for Canton Central, he couldn't recover the ball.
And it went right off his feet. Again, the junior The unfortunate part of this, Gavin, is one of these teams is going to go home after today. What a great start to the tournament, and unfortunately, someone's going to lose this game.
Inside to Servone. He'll challenge Odi Toyimbo, and the lead in favor of Haldane for the first time in the second half with 2 minutes to go. Full timeout for Haldane. 1 point advantage as we step aside on the NFHS network. .206 to go in the fourth quarter, spot in the New York State Class C championship game on the line, and the Blue Devils are celebrating as it was Matteo Servone. His 20th and 21st points puts Haldane back up ahead.
Well, now you're looking at the exact opposite of what happened in the third quarter. Haldane comes out with 29 points, and they put 17 on the board in the fourth quarter already, and 39 for Canton. They've only scored 6.
8 points coming from Matteo Servone, playing with 4 fouls.
At some point in time, Miami's got to take the gloves off, and he's got to get back to being Odette Oyimbo. He's got to get involved in this game, start blocking those shots, and give that spark he did in the first half.
Wentworth, extra pass, Jones, pull up, soft touch. Rebound fought for, one, and put back up and in from Odi Toyimbo.
On cue. On cue.
Jekyll and Hyde situation, Matt Lawrence. And a 1 point lead for Canton once again as Odi Toyimbo cleaned it up. And we'll step aside on the NFHS network as Haldane took the timeout. One-point lead for Canton Central. Odi Toyimbo got the cleanup as we see the big men for both sides. Matt Lawrence playing with 4 fouls, but still finding a way to make an impact.
They're going to have to. They've been playing handcuffed, each one of them, since the fourth. All of a sudden, Servone took off his handcuffs, started going to the basket. Odi Toyimbo, he's let 2 drives come in. He's let a couple reverses go. He can't do that anymore. He has to risk it in order to win it. And right now, you just saw him grab an offensive rebound and put the ball up. It's going to be one of those 2 big men. But I will tell you this. If Nechampkin stays hot, Canton's going to be in trouble because Canton right now doesn't have that second scorer.
Nechampkin, 5 points in quick succession after not scoring the first 3.5 quarters, has the basketball now. Bozic pressured.
Canton has gone a little bit cold here from the outside.
Bozic to the rim, bounces in for Ben Bozic. Number of big plays down the stretch from the senior point guard, and Haldane re-has the lead with 1:10 to go.
He heard you talking about him in the first half. Each possession super critical right now with 1 minute remaining.
Jones thinking about the 3. Servone risking the foul, reaching for the basketball. Jones zips it inside. Odi Toyimbo, that's a foul one way. Someone's out of the game.
I believe it's going to be Servone. And if it's Servone, that is huge, huge for Canton. And it is.
Matteo Servone, potentially the last play of his high school career, will be a foul. But Haldane still maintains a 1 point lead, as it'll be Iomi Odi Toyimbo getting to the foul line after this timeout. Matt Lawrence, what is being said in that Haldane huddle right now?
Well, right now, if you're the Haldane coach, you're Joe Vergadamo. You're telling your team, one person doesn't make this. You've had Bozic come alive right now. He's got 2 field goals, 4 foul shots. You've had a 3 and a 2 from the champion. But as a coach and a coaching staff, you have to tell your players, just go out and do what they gave you. You can't replace that 21 points that's now sitting. He has 21 points in the game, 14 in the second half. You can't replace it, but you only have 51 seconds right now.
And remember, it is just a 1-and-1 opportunity for Odi Toyimbo. So if he misses this shot, it's a live basketball. He doesn't.
That's money right there. His first foul shot attempt of the game, and it was all net. He's got 15 right now.
The shot for the lead for Canton. Odi Toyimbo left it short. Rebound corralled by Bozic. And nearly had it stripped by Francie. Tie ball game, final minute. This is what dreams are made of here on the NFHS network.
About a 16-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. So no matter what happens, Canton will get this ball back.
Bozic on the attack, blocked away by Odi Toyimbo, and then he had it stripped by Bozic.
And now no shot clock left. Haldane's going to take a timeout. Gavin, I will tell you what, Bozic made a mistake, and he atoned for it big time.
He had 4 steals against Pearson. He is particularly good at those backside pokeaways. As Joe Vergadamo, again, reached the semifinals as a player, reached it twice as a coach, has not made it to the championship game. Haldane, 25 seconds to change that.
Well, neither team has fouls to give. Canton already giving Haldane a double bonus. You don't want to foul here. You want to play high-pressure defense. If you're Troy LaSalle, you're looking at who is sitting on that bench and who could possibly shoot that 3. You already know that En Wong has shot the 3. You know that Bradley can shoot the 3. I don't see them going inside, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a 3. For me, I'm driving it in, drawing the big man and kicking it out to somebody that's going to sit there. And if we don't score, I don't want to give the Golden Bears a shot down the other end. We're going to take that shot in the last 3 or 4 seconds.
An interesting variable will be Odi Toyimbo most likely will shift over to guarding Matt Nishampkin, given that Servone is out of the game. Servone has been the lifeblood of this Haldane program. Getting to talk to Joe Vergadamo this week, he said he was heartbroken by their losses the last 2 years. Both of them, Matt Lawrence, coming by 1 possession to end their season.
There he goes again.
He's off the floor, but a chance to change that history of his high school career. Ball sent in to Ben Bozic with 22 seconds on the clock. Shot clock is turned off. And remember, any foul sends Haldane to the line for 2 shots.
And Odi Toyimbo, he wants to stay in this game, so you don't want to foul, because if it does go into overtime, you don't get additional fouls here.
Nishampkin out to
They're
half
not giving
court.
any looks here, nothing.
And now it's Giquinta fighting to the rim, stripped to the basketball, and will head to overtime. Haldane doesn't get a shot off. 48-48 after 32 minutes. We'll need 4 more to decide who moves on to the Class C championship game as we step aside on the NFHS network.
Price Chopper and Market 32, we want to help you shop smart to get the best quality and value for you and your family. That's why we created
More ways to save.
Just use your Advantage card to save your way with weekly specials, price chops, lowdowns, stock-up savings, fair to compare, and Advantage rewards. Now that's smart shopping. More ways to save at Price Chopper and Market 32.
Overtime about to get going. Matt Lawrence, this is what you want. Opening game of the New York State Final Four, and we get extra basketball.
We're going to have, this is our first game. 15 games being played here, and if any one of them are like this, it's something for the fans to see. There's no blowout. You can't go anywhere. You have to sit in your seat. You don't even want to get up and use the restroom because you're going to miss the possession.
Jump ball to open OT, won by Odi Toyimbo and Canton. Keynote, Mateo Cervone fouled out with under a minute to go. So Haldane without their leading scorer.
But what a game he played. Without Cervone's play in the second half, this game is over, and Haldane is on their way back.
Wentworth, backdoor, hook shot off the mark for Ethan Francie, but ball goes out of bounds and will stay with the Golden Bears.
Nelson Fuse jumped up to grab it, and it went right out of his hands, hit himself in the leg, and went out of bounds. I'm sorry, Ryan Enwong.
Francie sends it in, triple for Jones. Bounced off back iron, but the rebound kept alive by Nelson Fuse.
They have to get that ball down low. You have a huge disadvantage. Look, they had a switch, and they didn't use it. You had a guard.
You see immediately Joe Vergadamo gets ready to put Nate Stickle into the game to have more size. Back down for Odi Toyimbo. Turnaround jump shot well contested by Matt Nishampkin at 6'5", only giving up 3 inches in that matchup.
But Nishampkin knows he's got a tall order, and he did a great job.
Nishampkin has those long arms, too.
Yeah, but he did a great job using his body, not letting him in the paint.
Bozic, that's a tough shot. Doesn't matter. Ben Bozic continuing to come up clutch.
Good players rise to the occasion.
Wentworth didn't have an angle. Nishampkin kept the rebound alive. Over to Engwong, who nearly threw it away.
So right now, if you're Canton, you have to start playing some pressure defense, forcing a couple turnovers, and then get in transition. That's when they are in their best in transition ball.
It's a short overtime, just 4 minutes. Chiquinta, touch shot for his first 2 of the game at a big moment.
And you saw Iomi, he was loading up to jump up in the air, and Chiquinta with a quick shot, didn't allow it.
Jones, the Nash dribble, kick out, Francie left it short. Odi Toyimbo skies for the board. Bully ball inside, walked with the basketball.
Sure did. He turned around, took a step, dragged his second foot with him. A great call by the official, and a timeout on the floor taken by the Golden Bears.
So with 2:03 to go, we'll keep it right here on the NFHS Network as we get another look at that move from Odi Toyimbo.
There's the 2 right there. My problem here is Cervone has gone to he's gone to the bench, and since he's gone to the bench, Haldane's gotten better at what they're doing. And Canton has slowed the ball down. When Cervone's not in a game, get that ball up the court because you literally have one of the fastest big guys. We know he runs track. We know he can jump, but they're slowing down and playing half court, and that's not what got him here.
You do see that in these high school Final Fours. It almost feels like nerve starts to play a factor, and you're trying to control as much as you can, but often that's a mistake.
And what we don't realize, and we're watching this game, these kids are not machines. They're tired. They're tired. You have nerves playing a factor. You finally get over those. You make it 4 quarters, and now you're playing an additional 4 minutes. So if you've been hustling up a longer court, up and down all game, your legs are a little bit taxed right now. And if you win, you got to come back in 24 hours and play again.
Between Francie, Wentworth, and Odi Toyimbo, they have a lot of guys, Ryan Jones as well, who like to run, but just not operating with full tanks at the moment as this inbound nearing a violation finally gets into Bozic.
And they can't foul. There's 2 minutes left to go. But you can't allow this score right here. You don't want them going up 6 and possibly 7. You have to get the steal or the rebound here.
Bozic right down Main Street, eaten up that time by Odi Toyimbo, but recovered back up for Chiquinta and in. A 6-point lead for Haldane.
How big has he been the last 2 possessions?
Jones, a tough pass. Good catch from Odi Toyimbo. He's double teamed, forced it up anyways. Might have gotten fouled, not called. Nishampkin collects the rebound, and Haldane can take some time off the clock, up by 6.
A great job by the defense right there, keeping their hands straight up in the air. Contact, no problem as long as your hands are straight up.
And Evan Jacinta scoreless in regulation, 4 points in under 3 minutes of OT. And now the foul comes from Wentworth, and it'll send Matt Nishampkin to the line. I don't know, Matt Lawrence, do you agree with the intentional foul that early, or with this much time left in the game, rather?
My only problem with that is I won't question whether they should foul or they shouldn't. My only problem is you don't let 8 or 9 seconds. If you're going to foul, keep that 8 or 9 seconds on and foul earlier. You let them dribble all the way up, get over half court, and then you foul them. You were at 121 or 122 at the possession.
The champion scoreless for the first 28 minutes of this ball game, now has 6.
And they have progressively gotten better since Servone went to the bench. So I'll tell you what just happened. The official put the ball at the disposal of the shooter, and one of the Haldane players came out. And that's a violation, so it knocks that second shot, all-important second shot away.
So just a 7-point lead for Haldane as Jones picked up the foul on the arm, but that's the 9th foul against Haldane, 9th to 10th. So once again, it'll be a 1-and-1 situation for Ryan Jones.
These are big. These are very big because this can get you back into 2 possessions, but you have to make the first.
Jones does just that.
So if you're coach from Haldane, if you're Joe Vergadamo and you're sitting there, this is your worst nightmare. The other team putting points on the board and no clock running.
Jones on the second, missed it, rebound tipped out, and right back to Ken.
Get it back inside.
Instead they go to Jones. Jones stripped by Engwang. Tie up. Engwang has it. Possession arrow favors Haldane. Unless there's a foul call, but it looks like the call is a jump. And that should be Blue Devils basketball.
At that point in time, Ryan Jones, he jumps on that ball. He's got to look right up at the official and ask for a timeout.
So it's Haldane ball, 1:01 to go. So a golden opportunity missed by Canton Central. They could have, with a 3-ball, made it a 1-possession game. Instead, down by 6, and they're going to have to foul as Troy LaSalle takes the timeout.
So I talk about this all year long on NFHS, on some other networks. We talk about basketball IQ. You need the basketball IQ when it gets to these important games. And a few things that I saw in that last possession. Number 1, you make the first foul shot. It's exactly what you want to do. But the second shot, you miss, you get the rebound. You have your 6'8" man sitting in the middle of the lane, and they kick it back out, and it gets stolen. That's number 1. And then number 2, when you jump on the ball, if you see everybody coming at you, call a quick timeout. Call a quick timeout. You need that possession because right now you're still down 6. That's 2 threes. If you're down 5 or 4, at least you could get 1 field goal and then concentrate on the three-pointer.
Odi Toyembo has missed 2 shots in this quarter, but I think the difference, to your point, Matt, he had deep position and wasn't double-teamed.
Correct.
That is the time to get him the basketball.
He's been outside the paint the last 2 or 3 possessions, and this possession, he's inside under the basket. We saw him dunk there from earlier, just leave his feet, rise up, and throw 2 points down. How big is that right now if you're coming out at 55-51? Right now, you're coming out 55-49. You need some luck on your side if you're Canton.
And you have a couple of good free throw shooters on the court. Nishampkin inbounding the ball. He's your best at 74%. That ball knocked out by Jones, and it'll be Canton Central basketball as it went off the hand of Bozic.
What a great job there. Fantastic job. One of the big problems is, we won't see the replay, but one of the big problems was Coach was standing up, and they were trying to throw the ball down there, but Coach was standing up, and he didn't want to throw it near the coach, so he ended up throwing it a little short.
So good defense played by Coach LaSalle.
You don't need it right away.
Triple swatted by Jacinta.
You didn't need it right away. You get yourself a good possession, put the ball up in the air, hopefully you hit it. There's 26 seconds, 26.3 between the two. You give the ball right back to them after scoring, you're going to get it back.
You want the first best shot. Jones drives past the double team to the rim, takes some contact, and baits the foul on Nishampkin.
And here you go again. Nightmares coming true when you're Coach Troy I mean, when you're Coach Joe Vergadamo's lost here, like you said, on 2 possessions, right? Back to back, he's lost on 1 possession games. And now they keep putting Canton at the foul line with chances to make it, and they've missed their last 2. But they're putting him with chances to make it, and no time running off the clock. Time is your biggest asset right now.
Nate Stickle will come back in for Ryan Engwong, so a little bit more size on the floor for Haldane. Jones goes 2 for 4 over his last 4 freebies. So after all that, essentially the same result with a couple more seconds taken off the clock if Jones had just hit his first 2. As Canton Central down by 5, little under 53 seconds to go. And if you're Haldane, I wonder if they inbound with Nishampkin again, given that he is, again, probably going to be your best free throw shooter on the floor. Without Mateo Servo, Nate Stickle also at 77%, but doesn't have quite the volume of attempts that Nishampkin has.
Yeah, right now, it's going to come down to who feels confident shooting the ball. Again, Gavin, big stage here, big game. Both traveled well. I mean, we looked at this earlier on, and you're watching the Haldane crowd, and they're panning through, but both sides traveled well. Big student section here for Canton. Canton has a great crowd behind them. They're down 5. Again, they're going to need a little luck, but we know they can throw the ball up there. The biggest thing is getting that 6'8 frame under that basket, because if something is errant or just tips the wrong way, we already know he's a high jumper. We probably know he can get his head up near the rim. You get those big wings up and you grab the ball, you have possibility not only dunking it down or following it, but also doing that and getting fouled. And right now, time is not their friend.
52.8 on the clock.
1 timeout left for Canton, 2 for Haldane.
Jacinta.
They're trying to poke the ball free here from Jacinta. But if you're going to foul,
Bozic up the court, wide open is Bradley, extra pass, but it's contested, and the shot goes in anyways for Ryan Engwong. Put it in over Odi Toyimbo, and now Canton Central has to go fast. Jones into the lane, bodies around him, and 1 for Ryan Jones. Oh, no.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Wait, everybody thinks they're going to shoot a 3. He does a great job of going in the middle for Jones. If you're near him, let him go. You're up, let him go. But again, they remind us all the time why they are 15, 16, and 17 years old.
Ryan Engwong, 10 inches shorter, maybe even more, that's his listed height, than Odi Toyimbo, and able to put it in over one of New York State's best shot blockers. Jones, though, completes the three-point play. He has 7 points in the last 30 seconds, and Canton's back within 4, Matt Lawrence.
And they take their last timeout. Canton takes the timeout. We'll stay right here. 32.1. So no matter what happens, Canton will get another possession. But they have to foul right away. They are down 4. They have to foul. Nobody's going to give them a 4-point play. They may give them a 3, but then nobody's going to give them a 4-point play. You have to look right now, if you're Coach Troy LaSalle, who are you going to allow to get the ball inbounds and who are you going to foul? For me, it depends on who takes the floor, but they have a lot of good outside shooters on Haldane.
And you see the sign for Ethan Fritzy to go get the steal. He averages 4 of them per game. You got to imagine he'll be on the floor. Ryan Jones made the great defensive play last time. And what's interesting is if you try to get the ball, Odi Toyimbo will probably be guarding the inbounder for this reason, but if you try to get the ball to his man, because he will ideally not foul given that he has 4 already.
Yeah, so he's not going to foul. They're probably going to keep him back. Unless he's going to pressure the inbounds, they'll probably keep him somewhere between the top of the key. Looks like he's going to pressure the inbounds, which he is. Smart idea. Maybe force a bad pass. But what you can't have is what you have right here. You have a wide-open player for Haldane.
Remember, Evan Jacinta, he can run the baseline, but not taking advantage of it. Gets it into Bozic, who was fouled immediately by Ethan Francie.
So Francie picks up his 4th. It's going to be 2 shots for both teams.
And we saw Bozic. He missed his first 2 free throws. Since then, I believe, has gone 4 for 5.
Right, so now we have a timeout taken on the floor. We're going to stay right here. It looks like it may be a foul timeout.
Perhaps getting clarification if that was the fourth or fifth on France. I also had it as...
It was his fifth.
All right,
So you get 30 seconds to replace. So that's what I was wondering, because nobody made an official signal for a timeout. So if you're Bozic, this may have just worked against you a little bit. You got to stand on that foul line for about 10, 15 seconds and think about shooting 2 shots.
And again, if you're a fan of Moravia or Randolph, that game going to get off to a little bit of a late start. Will decide the other spot in this New York State semifinal as Bozic calmly hits the first.
He was 4 for 6 prior to that. He's got 4 for, I'm sorry, no, he wasn't. He was 4 for 8 prior to that. He missed 2 in the first half and 4 for 6 in the second half.
2 for 2 this time. 6-point lead, and Canton has to go fast. Jones lets the basketball bounce. He's just going to have to pull up and fire. Jones left it short. Rebound fought for, won by Wentworth, and Wentworth will draw the foul now.
We've talked about this and talk about it and talk about it. Coach, I'm watching Coach right now. I'm watching Vergadamo up and down the sideline, questioning his players and questioning his assistant coaches. What are we doing? Right out of his mouth. What are we doing?
And Joe Vergadamo, an incredibly nice guy, but also very, very intense. So I can imagine his blood pressure through the roof. Again, he's made 3 appearances as a player and a coach in the New York State semifinals. This would be his first time advancing to the championship. 1 for 2 at the line. Rebound from Bozic. Bozic fouled again, a 5-point game with 22 seconds left. And Bozic with 2 free throws here can all but put this game away.
But if you're Joe Vertigamo, you've been here before with your team twice. You've lost in that last possession, and the last thing you want to do is have your guys foul. With 21 seconds left, they're up 5 points. He makes both here. You just stand there. Let him go in and shoot. Don't even get the rebound. Nothing. They have no timeouts left.
Ang Wong will come back into the game. Bozic for a 7-point lead. The senior point guard has 13 points, make it 14. And now he has the steal, rather, it's Ang Wong, and that might be the dagger. Jones will speed in to the rim, blocked away by Neshepkin. An exclamation point for Haldane, down by 10 in the fourth quarter. Have this one all but sealed up in overtime.
Trying to get it to the big man, and the champion doing a great job.
Triple up from Wentworth, left short. And that'll do it with 9 seconds to go. Canton Central had this game all but won in the fourth. Mateo Cervone took over. He fouled out.
Coach just told him, back off, don't foul. He's conceding.
And the rest of this Blue Devils team took over.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought when Cervone went out?
Haldane, for the first time in school history, advances to the Class C New York State championship game. A 63-54 victory over Canton Central. And they'll play the winner of our next game, Moravia and Randolph. So for our producer, Ed Diller, my partner, Matt Lawrence, I'm Gavin Shull, signing off for the moment at Cool and Shoring Arena. Haldane moves on to the Class C championship game.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it to Frazier. Canton to the end zone. What a catch. The Canton touchdown. Wins it. The championship. He's going to take it